is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice.
I want to start out with this picture over here. This is the Saudi gazelle. By show of hands, how many of you have heard of this particular species before? I see some hands up. So most of you haven't heard of these particular species before, and bad news is that you're never going to meet a member of these species ever again because it was declared extinct in 2008. In Africa, scientists were researching the nutritional status of young children and they couldn't figure out why it was slowly deteriorating until they looked at wildlife. In many of the years, wildlife was slaughtered randomly, including those of hippos. Now, as you might be knowing, hippos have a very funny toilet behavior. They use their tail to disperse excreta in the water. That is the staple food for fish. No hippos means no fish food. No fish food, no fish. No fish for the children in their food. That is what happens when you change one part of the ecosystem and don't know what the consequence will be. This is one picture I found while I was scrolling through my picture gallery. I don't remember much, but I believe that's me feeding a tiger cub with a baby milk bottle. Amidst the woolly buzz of globalization and the increasing decibels of urbanization, transportation, wars and destruction, there lie buried thousands of helpless voices shouting for help. The endangered species are crying out loud. Listen to our voice. Live and let live. In the past 30 years, 76% of all lions have been killed. Only 3,000 tigers remain in the wild. And every day, 3 rhinos are poached for their horns. Another example are the sea turtles. They have been around since the late Jurassic, which is roughly 150 million years ago. Cohorts of the dinosaurs, they survived the challenges of eons, existing still today, while many other species have ended their evolutionary run. But in the last recent decades, human endeavors from beach development to plastic pollution has dropped the survival rate to less than 1%. It is this added human pressure which has pushed each of the 7 sea turtle species into the state of either threatened or endangered. 2 years back, when I visited the Indurva Sea Turtle Conservation in Sri Lanka, I thought that I would have the most excited feeling. As I knew a close encounter with the sea turtle would be an unforgettable experience. I put my hand in the water and came face to face with the leatherback turtle. But as I moved my hand closer towards the leatherback turtle, my excitement suddenly deflated. I realized that one of its flippers was amputated and it was surviving on just 3 flippers. But what amazed me the most was that this turtle had shown resilience even with a missing limb. That was a turning point in my life. Ever since then, I've been adopting endangered species. 2 out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are dedicated for life on land and in water. If we are really going to live up to the higher calling we have as moral beings, it's going to lie on our ability to care for others that are very much different from us. We are the problem but you can also be part of the solution by joining hands with the United Nations. Protecting endangered species, we all have a role to play. The small steps we take can help us to strive towards a better world. Thank you for listening to me and the cries of our animal friends.